Hello, my name is Khyle. I am the director of this series, You Matter, and I was asked by Josh, the creator, and a few other people if I would share my story about men's mental health. And as the person kind of bringing these stories to you, the audience, it felt only right that I kind of share my story as well and kind of bring it all together in a sense, as this is something obviously that affects me as well as everyone that we've interviewed and ultimately everyone who is watching this and feels somewhat affected by it. So yeah, this is me. My name is Khyle and this is my story. Well, Josh came to me and he had an idea that he wanted to share with people. He felt like it was something that was very important to him, and he felt like it's not something that really gets as much attention as it should. Obviously, men's mental health is something that is rampant to this day, and it's something that has only really recently kind of been given as much of a spotlight as it has. And my own personal experience with mental health, it's something that I feel like I should get involved in. He came to me obviously as a filmmaker. He felt like I was the kind of person who could bring this kind of idea to life. So we spitballed, we kind of came up with this idea of what we could do and how it would flow. And I think since sort of filming the episodes that we've filmed so far, I realised that a lot of people feel exactly the same way that I do. Even though all of our stories are, individual, very different, we've all been through different things. I don't think you can hear someone's intimate thoughts without kind of taking something away from it, or at least having a connection in a sense, as in like empathy. I'm trying to think of the word empathy. This is all very raw, by the way. I know obviously this is an interview for the series, but this is all very raw. I'm not reading from a script. I'm trying to keep this as honest and as open as I can, in a sense. But yeah, it's something I never thought I'd do, but now that we're doing it, I couldn't imagine not being a part of this. And ultimately, as this is my episode, doing the episodes that we've done previously, it's opened me up a lot, and it's made me think about the things that obviously I've been through in life and the things that I think about in myself. And I'm really glad to be a part of it, and I'm really glad that people are getting in touch, talking about the series, talking about themselves, and ultimately opening up. So yeah, so this is obviously the question I think that obviously I've asked a lot of quite a few people this question in regards to the series, and I think it's the most open-ended one that obviously is very intimate and personal to them. And this one obviously I've thought a lot about since I kind of, we came about the idea of doing my episode, and obviously think about what I should talk about and what I shouldn't talk about. No, literally what I should just talk about. So I think my first real struggle with my mental health would be when my father, my dad, I say father, it sounds silly. When I was about 12, my dad left me. A lot of like parental sort of conflict or whatnot, but ultimately he did leave, and we had a very, very close relationship, and we were very, very close, and to have that kind of disappear just completely for a 12-year-old, that's a lot. And I've always felt like I'm a very emotional person, so that really dug deep. I think it would for anyone, but yeah, that was very hard for me, and at such a young age, because I feel like I was quite a sheltered child, so, and it kind of, yeah, it really like made me see what the world can be like, and it's obviously not all sunshine and roses, so to speak, but that was one of the hardest things to go through. We speak now. I'm sure he won't mind, obviously, me talking about this sort of stuff. We do speak now, and we have a good relationship, and that's something that we've managed to repair over time. So I do feel quite lucky in that sense, because a lot of people don't necessarily have that relationship with their father, dad, or if it does disappear, they don't always get it back. So I do feel quite lucky in that regard, that I do have a relationship with both my parents, who I love greatly. But obviously that pain doesn't necessarily leave you. It just you revert it to the back of your mind a little bit. But as I say, I feel I'm good now with it all. I feel like it's it's come together. I'd say that one of the bigger things, and this isn't something that you can kind of get back, but when I was 17, my brother passed away. So he was a year older than me, so he was 18. Hayden. So obviously, given that we were pretty similar in age, we obviously had a very strong relationship together as siblings, and we liked a lot of the same things. We got on very well, but obviously we were very different as well. Like, we had like personality clashes. I think every like set of brothers do, which is normal. But I loved him to pieces, and I still do. And obviously, as you get older, you leave school, you have your own lives and whatnot, and like that, our relationship wasn't as close as it could be as we got older. So, see, when we lost him, it was hard on all of us. Life. How do you go on, sort of? There is no normal, I think, after that point, and we had to adjust to like a different life without him. I don't think I opened up as much as I could have, obviously, when we lost him. And I think that's one of my biggest struggles that I've had, and I don't think that's something I've ever completely got over. I feel like opening up about it now, like in this episode, is something that is important. As in, like, I don't really talk as much about this as I should, because I do feel like I can be quite closed off in a sense, which, some people just like that. We close ourselves down emotionally in a sense. I have spoke about this before, and in a sense to quite a few people, but yeah, I don't think anyone can ever really get over it, but I don't think that I've talked about it enough, because like I say, it's not an easy thing to discuss, and I think about him every day. I know my mum have talked about it a lot. We talk about Hayden a lot, because obviously he's always with us, and he always will be. And I do miss him, and there are days where, you feel that. Like, it's like you feel that lack of presence in a sense. But I always try my best to remember him in the best way that I can, and through the things that we love, like Dragon Ball Z. So I'm a bit of a nerd. I like anime and whatnot, and we both love that. We had very similar tastes in music, so obviously there are things out there that make me feel closer to him still. Yeah, and like I said, I'm 31 now, so it's been quite a long time. But that's, as I say, time heals, but time can't heal everything. There's always something that's missing. So, and I feel like that's impacted. Like, one second, sorry. I feel like that's impacted my life in great ways. Like, I've got a lot of social anxiety. I've got a lot of sort of anxiety in general, which means that I haven't always felt as confident to do things, and I feel like that's held me back a little bit because of sort of that pain. It just, it's one of those things where I think you have to kind of push past it. I feel like in the past couple of years I've pushed past it a lot more than I did before, and I do use that pride of Hade is proud of me. He's looking down on us and he's thinking, bro, you're doing really well, and just keep going. And that for me is fuel in a sense. And yeah, that's, I think, ultimately what we do, it should be for ourselves, but ultimately for the people we care about the most, because those are the people that are going to be there to celebrate with you. And even though he's not here physically, he is always there, and I know that he's celebrating with us. So yeah, that's definitely something that's definitely had a major effect on my mental health over the years, and it is something I'm glad that I'm talking about now, for sure. And sadly, this year, we lost, we did. We lost my nan, Gail. So she went into hospital in January, and what's different with this is, with my brother, we didn't get the chance to say goodbye because it was very sudden and it was unexpected, and so obviously he was taken from us and we didn't get a chance to really say goodbye. With my nan, as much as we didn't want it to happen, we were prepared for it. She prepared us for that eventuality. We got to spend time with her, we got to make memories with her, we got to take as many photos as possible, and as horrible as it is that she's not here now, we can always look back on the time we had with her and all the good memories we made, and going to see her as much time as I could. Obviously life, work, priorities and everything, you have to, as much as we love to be with these people, as much as we can, it's not always possible with life and everything, but you've got to cherish the moments that you have with them. And yeah, when it happens, there's nothing prepares you for it, really, obviously. You just have to, get on with it. Remember that as much as they're not here, they still are, and I think that's ultimately what we have to take away from it, is you have to keep them alive in here, and they're always alive up here as well. And like I say, this year's been great for me in a sense because I've done some incredible things, but it's been very overwhelming, like you say, to lose someone as important as your nan, because obviously how it affects everyone else as well. I feel like I'm more open now than I have been before, and I feel like that's something I need to continue with, because, as I say, when I was younger, I used to keep it all bottled up inside, and that doesn't help anyone, least of all yourself. And that's not a place I want to go to again. I don't want to go back to, like you say, being that quiet person that can't express themselves, because I don't think that's fair. I would say those are probably the biggest things that have affected me with my mental health, but at the same time, I've got a lot of support around me, and telling this story to people, I feel like you were maybe going through something similar or have been through something similar, and you can relate to that and hopefully express it as well. So yeah, that's some of the stuff that I've sort of struggled with and dealt with. Yeah, I think there definitely is. I think the guys that they've kind of touched up on this in previous episodes of what can be done, and I'm not gonna try and be negative in a sense, but I'm gonna point out that I don't feel like there is enough being done. Obviously, doing this series, I've done research, I've looked into what services are out there, and there are services out there for mental health, there absolutely are. But if we look back on what things used to be like, and to be fair, it's still very much the same. There's still the old guard out there who see expression as a negative, especially for men. Men have always been propped up as the protectors, as the ones who have to do everything they can to hold things together. That's to keep like women, children, like obviously these are such old ideals, and they have to be strong, and it's in our culture, it's in our society, it's in everything. Like, you know, you look back on history and men have to be strong and providers and whatnot, and that's great. Absolutely, it's amazing that men can be strong and whatnot, but we're like you say, we have feelings, we have emotions, and men struggle, and because of those old ideals, it makes it harder for us to express ourselves. And this is obviously something that's coming to light a lot more now, but it's still, I feel like, in its infancy. We don't have the steps in place for men to really open up. Based on my research and experience, there is more out there for general mental health, but specifically men's mental health, because as I say, because of the way society's been over time, it's not the thing for men to talk, and that's something that needs to happen. Look at the statistics for, as I say, suicide and all those kind of things. Men are much higher because they don't talk, they don't let their feelings out, and that's horrible. And that's why we made this series. There needs to be more specifically for men. Everyone should talk, everyone should express themselves, but specifically we need to get men talking, we need to get men opening up, so there isn't a stigma of men being the strong providers and actually being seen as real people. Because, as I say, the people I've interviewed, the people I've spoke to, I still know people who've never opened up at all and still hold those old values. And I saw a video recently, it was for Norwich Football Club, and it's got like 5 million views or whatever. It's got a lot of attention, and like these two guys, this very quiet guy, this very outgoing guy, and you kind of see them sitting together chatting and whatnot, and you think that the quiet guy is the one who's suffering, and it turns out that actually it's the one that was outgoing and really bubbly and whatnot, because it's beneath the surface. You hide it, and a lot of men do that. I myself have done that. I use humour in a way to sort of hide some emotions, I would say. And that's not good. And like I say, seeing that video, I realised that this is a football club making this video. It's not mental health professionals, it's not people who are out there who should be providing the services. It's just people in general are trying to get men to talk, not people who are meant to be doing the helping, the professionals out there. So a lot more can be done, definitely. I think definitely a lot more. I'm glad that things are changing, but there needs to be a lot more done for these people. And yeah, hopefully this series will help as well. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Me now, and the younger version of me, I guess, like my younger self, we're very different people. We're very, very, very different people. I'd say that as scary as things seem, and as like nervous and shy and quiet and like worried you may be that something bad's gonna happen if you like take a risk or take the plunge sort of thing, it is never as bad as you think it is, because I have to do things now that absolutely terrify me, even though on the surface, once again, it may not look that way, but ultimately it's a good thing, because that's self-development, that's, you know, doing something out of your comfort zone that ultimately benefits you. I'd say as much as life has obviously thrown some curveballs at us, it will make you stronger for it, because the people you've lost and the people that aren't here anymore, they're still in here and they're always with you. And you'll look back when you get to here, where we are now, and you'll be thankful that you have the memories of them and the positive things that they brought. It's so easy to get caught up on the negatives that sometimes you think they outweigh the positive. Focus on the negatives and they outweigh the positives, but like you say, you just have to be thankful for what you have, and you know, things will change, good things will come, and ultimately that's down to you and ultimately down to the people around you. So stay strong and keep talking, because ultimately the more open you are, the more people will listen, the more they'll help, and the better you will feel. I think as sort of I've kind of been behind the camera for the majority of this, I just want to, I guess, thank everyone who's taken part in this series. Excuse me. Yeah, I feel like I want to thank everyone who's been a part of this series. I want to thank Josh for coming to me and deciding to sort of make this documentary series a thing. As I say, it's far more important than I think a lot of people realise, and telling these stories, Josh always said that if it helps one person, then he's done what he set out to do. And that for me ultimately is why I wanted to be a part of this, because if you can make a difference to one person's life, that's enough for you to say, I've done good. just speak up. You know, I promote this on social media, I talk to people, and ultimately you just, like you say, there's nothing scary out there when it comes to talking. I know there are a lot of people out there who are in situations where they can't talk, and that's why there needs to be more support for them so they can. But ultimately, to the people who are just too scared to speak up because of their own insecurities, their own internal thoughts, there is nothing out there that's going to hurt you if you talk about how you're feeling. And ultimately, if you do, you will feel better for it, because that weight will be lifted. And I can safely say that's how I feel. I'm glad I did this. I feel like it's something that needed to be done. I'm very thankful for all the people I have. I'm glad to have a platform that I can use to express myself, and ultimately the reason we chose the title You Matter, and the fact that you is in all caps, it sounds silly when I talk about it, but it's because I want to emphasize everyone. As I say, this is men's mental health, but it does also encapsulate everyone, because we all have those struggles, and I feel like it means everyone. It really does. No matter where you are, no matter where you come from, no matter what you've done, ultimately your story means something. So thank you. Thank you for watching. I don't really know how to kind of end this, but yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my story, and I hope you all get something from this, and just remember that you do matter.